in the regular season here this year. One against Philly and one against the Nets. In both games, they trailed by double figures at one point. And the tip goes to the Bucks. The opening tip, really kind of both working with both the Clippers and the Bucks, kind of maybe like 8 or 9 players here available tonight. Coffee looking inside, and we got an early foul.
Kawhi Leonard back into the fold sometime in the playoffs. They will be formidable.
It's interesting how that narrative has changed. Jordan Ward with the miss, Ibaka with the putback, that one rimming out.
Kawhi Leonard back into the fold sometime in the playoffs. They will be formidable.
It's interesting how that narrative has changed. Jordan Ward with the miss, Ibaka with the putback, that one rimming out from distance. 9 here to shoot, Bobby, why not? And an offensive foul call that way, trying to gain position on the O boards, and Ibaka already has picked up his second. Looked like he was thinking bucket. Off the hands there of Serge. We talked about trying to find the rhythm.
Cutting the baseline down from help side, but he did get help back on Amir Coffey.
7-0 Clippers run.
Whoa. 7-foot frame got back into the play.
Couple of blocks here for both these teams. Serge gets a look. Gets me every time is one of the first days when he came to Milwaukee. And looking up.
You talking about Kareem in one sentence and Wilt in the other? Come on now. That's greatest of all time. You talking about Kareem in one sentence and Wilt in the other? Come on now. That's greatest of all time.
That miss doesn't help too much. 20-point edge, it's the largest lead of the game. Kennard got challenged that time on the backside by Wara. Bucks have actually been pretty good on the second game of a back-to-back. Above 500 record at 7-5 here this year. Coming into tonight, Zubac's drawing the foul.
To come in and fill in for Marcus and see the greatness of Giannis. I know Kareem personally. I've spoken with Oscar Robertson on several occasions.
Jumping ability, scoring ability.
I mean, he was fluid in everything that he did.
Serge Ibaka, pretty fluid on that look.
Knows his game, doesn't get outside of himself.
He's played his entire career with both LA teams.
And that a blessing.
Ibaka. The Clippers with 9 on the injury report coming into tonight. They're resting some of their big names as well. Paul George at the top of the list tonight.
Well, you know, Clippers had an overtime game in Chicago last night. Hard fought. Well, you know, Clippers had an overtime game in Chicago last night. Hard fought.
They had less to travel, though, for the overtime game that the Bucks had in Brooklyn.
You got that right.
9 3-point makes for 33 points tonight. New career high in points, by the way. So he's got a career high in 3-point makes. Now he has a career high in points. And boom, that shovel pass. Thankfully, they didn't turn that over for if you're the Clippers. Coffee again being challenged by Wara.
Well, it was amazing that when he came back, Paul George against Utah in his first game, I believe he had 34. I mean, you know how hard that is to do? I believe he had 34. I mean, you know how hard that is to do?
Ibaka puts it back. Strong,
yes.
and he even admits it's one of the strongest parts of him. But the fact that he can stay low, right, and back down some of those bigger defenders.
Yep. I mean, it's almost like...
That's my reaction too, Luke Kennard. They're going to count the bucket.
You want to leave a little bit better taste in your mouth than they had going into that last timeout.
It was like a layup drill.
Yep.
Before that timeout was called.
Want some body control. So I think that will bode well for them moving forward in the playoffs. And they've got to really slow down one of these dynamic scores.
Thanasis got the block from behind. Here we go. Thanasis with the finish. Back the other way.
So I think that will bode well for them moving forward in the playoffs. And they've got to really slow down one of these dynamic scores.
Thanasis got the block from behind. Here we go. Thanasis with the finish. Back the other way.
The gentleman that got a chance to catch a break tonight, like to see a different outcome, but get well rested.